It's good to have you join us and stay with us here on Breakfast Central, the brightest breakfast show on television. Let's go straight to the front pages of the newspapers sitting next to us, or in between, or better still, to my near left, not far. We do have international journalist of repute. Mr. Habib Aruna joins us on a Monday morning. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Welcome. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Habib Aruna. It looks like you had a very restful weekend. You're looking bright and cheerful as always.
In the midst of Ramadan.
And your wife is really taking good care of you.
In the midst of Ramadan.
Yes.
No, it's the holy week, the holy month.
Yes.
That is making him
You are keeping it holy.
Yes.
And don't forget.
You are holier than that.
And I'm looking slimmer, looking younger.
Wow.
But don't forget, all these things you are saying, according to Mr. Not according, well, right now, before Mr. Habib Aruna, we need to understand the context.
Absolutely.
Understand the context matters.
Yes, the context matters.
Yes, it's like a glass of water.
You can show me the video.
Exactly. Let's understand the context. I don't know if Benga or Olive understand.
If it's half full or half empty.
Don't raise glass as you're understanding any context.
No, I'm
because
just
thank
saying.
God there's no glass in front of him to be able to read.
But let's go to the front pages and find out what the front pages of the newspapers are saying. You can call in and lend your voice to the stories we have on the front pages right now, and let's know what you think. Very quickly, let's see our very first paper this morning. We'll be going to the Al Jazeera this morning, and let's see what it has in store for us. It says international, again, women's plight takes center stage. Women's rights regressing worldwide according to United Nations. Says there is need to close the justice gap for women and girls. Nigeria seeks renewed commitment. CCD calls for protection, equal access to justice. Federal government demands immediate release of 42 Nigerians from detention in Mozambique. Oh, wow. Okay. Federal government has waded into that. Let's see a big one so we can move in straight to Mr. Habib Aruna before we go to many other stories. It says Nigeria records maternal health gains in 2025 according to report. Akwa Ibom women endorse Tinubu for re-election. IGP appoints Placid as new police spokesman. Let's start off first with the changes in the police sector, let's say security, and then we've seen the police unit, we've seen changes from the IGP. You haven't been here since that happened, and we've not gotten your thoughts.
No,
okay, you did. All right, good. And now he's made changes.
I told you that the guy is a close friend.
Yes, you did. I remember.
My neighbors at
Alausa back then. Okay, so what's your take? Changes, communications, changing, and all of that.
I'm not surprised that the man has hit the ground running in terms of having a very strong media office, to disseminate information from the force and let Nigeria know what is going on and get feedback. Apart from appointing the force PRO, he also appointed a guy in charge of the social media, one ASP, who is very vast in social media. And I also forget that when Disu, before his appointment, when he came to Lagos as not DSP, not DIG, AIG in Lagos. He set up a unit where negotiators can communicate directly to him. Yes, what is going on? He's been he was in Lagos now with this RRS.
I remember
Lagos,
rapid response.
And he's a very active person in the social media, on Twitter. Now, so I'm not surprised that the man is and he's appointed a guy that is very, very effective, DCP Placid. So I think it's for us to use the opportunity and make sure that the feedback are really back to him, so that the force will be in sync with how Nigerians feel about what they are doing and the operations. But what is more important is for Disu to do the right thing.
What is the right thing?
Don't forget that the first thing he did, one of the first assignment he did was to constitute a committee.
Yeah.
To consummate this idea of state police, which the other guy refused to do. Which was what, according to reports, led to his removal. And what this was done. And this, I can assure you, the man knows what he's doing. He's a very smart guy. Nigeria will have a very smooth and secure country.
But just over this weekend, an army base was overrun. Soldiers were killed. Hundreds of people were kidnapped. And many Nigerians lost their lives.
Where is that?
In the north. Around but in Borno
There was
State.
Bono. There was
Yes.
Bono. There's also
Around
Kaduna.
those,
There's a-
area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't seem like anything is changing. They could make appointments, they can hire and fire people, but Nigerians are dying and the government is failing in its very basic responsibility.
I think you can put that on the doorstep of this.
No, I'm not saying this. I'm just saying the
yes.
overall strategy doesn't seem to be working.
that
And
is
how
not-
much will he be able to do to change
There's no game
anything?
saying that. We've not got it right. And of security. Security country, because of these pockets of killings taking place in Zamfara, in Kwara, in Borno, the epicenter of these terrorist attacks. So our job is to keep on reminding them that this country is not safe and they can do more. Nigerians have been killed, cannot keep quiet.
All right. Let's now go to another matter that's a really big conversation, especially as the U.S.-Israel-Iran war continues. The big story on the Punch newspaper. Let's move to the Punch. Rising fuel prices. NNPC may supply foreign crude to Dangote refinery. Third fuel price hike looms. Motorists groan as petrol nears 1,200 naira per litre.
Wow.
Dangote suspends fuel sale briefly amid rising prices, marketers say. Nigeria triples crude imports from U.S. in 1 year amid rising local shortage. We are really in for trouble. For those who think the Israel-Iran war does not concern me, this is how it concerns.
No, it concerns everybody. You see, I was on a program on Thursday, and I was making the point, very strongly for that matter, that it all appears the Nigerian government was not prepared for this war,
in terms of the ripple effects,
for the spillover effects of this war. We are not ready. Other countries were ready. They were waiting for it. Because there's no way to not affect the price of oil. Because that is the region that produces 80% of world oil. The Gulf region and the Arab states, they produce it.
The Arab states are mounting pressure on the United States. They are telling Trump, please end this war. They depend heavily on tourism, the financial markets, flights, the airports are shut in a lot of countries. Do you think the Americans would listen to them and because they need to end this? It's going to have inflationary pressures on Nigeria. Cost of transportation and petrol is tied to so many things.
It's unfortunate that this man at the White House is erratic.
Did he think it through?
Very erratic, very unpredictable. It was that madman in Israel, Netanyahu. I'm telling you, I mean it. I'm saying it in a measured way. Netanyahu is a warmonger. He
is a wanted war criminal. The
more he engages in war, the more he will keep his office. That's what he's doing. And unfortunately, we have a man that is very gullible in the White House that fell for it. Now the world is in a mess. Let me remind you, some countries in the Gulf, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, are saying that they will stop producing their gas and oil. Iran is saying that any ship that passes through the Strait of Hormuz, they will shut it down.
But America has offered to escort those ships.
They are not doing it yet. America is not doing it yet. America is not escorting the ships yet.
And even the insurance companies say
it's been taking place since the time of Reagan.
Yes.
Iran controls those areas. So it's a major thing. And the oil price, according to petrol now, is 1,300 naira. We are feeling it.
So in Nigeria, how do we absorb the shocks? Are we going to bring back subsidy?
What I expect Nigeria to be doing is the foreign minister, defense minister, finance minister, CBN governor, address Nigerians. This is where it is done over the world. What are the things that we will lose? What are we going to lose? What is the government doing to make sure that the laws are not too much? Absolutely. Yeah. Are they sleeping? I don't know.
These are part of the communications
issues that we'll talk about in the current administration.
Other countries, they are ready.
Because
for the fallout.
No matter how,
but unfortunately, we are not ready.
Somebody was asking that if, God forbid, they decided to launch bombs at Nigeria, we will be able to have, we'll be able to deflect these bombs, like the way
we have interceptors?
Interceptors, thank you. The way the UAE. And another person replied, people have not finished talking about
UAE or Bahrain or
it's American
Qatar.
technology.
It's an American technology. Even Israel.
Yes.
It's American technology that they gave them. So let me tell you something. The country that controls the world is America. God of this technology.
But the country that seems to be controlling America is
Israel, unfortunately. God of that Netanyahu, that warmonger.
Anyway.
That destabilizer. But we cannot be.
Why haven't they arrested him? He's wanted by the International Criminal Court.
Look at what he's doing in Lebanon. Look at what even the US did. They attack in the school. This attack on the school.
165 girls.
So that's what we are saying.
They blew up water desalination plants and pharmaceutical companies.
Knowledge of American politics. The more they kill American soldiers, the more the pressure will be on Trump to end the war. And the price of grocery, price of gasoline in the US is rising now.
And
the highest in 3 years.
Midterms are coming in November.
The pressure is on him. And yesterday he came out and said it's a temporary thing.
But he said he could go the long haul before.
Didn't get over it. But the fact is, it means that the pressure is on him. So the more they kill American soldiers, the more the American people are feeling the pain of this war, the more pressure will be on Trump to end this.
Totally unprovoked and unnecessary.
So for us here, I think our concern should be how this affects us. And no matter whatever gain the government comes out tomorrow to talk about that they have made or that they plan to make, it will.
Our concern is that our government should be more proactive.
Yes.
Our government should be ready to what are the fallouts. How will it affect our economy?
Yeah.
How will it affect our defense? How will it affect our way of life? They should come and let us know.
Because right now what we're going to see...
The challenge before them is to let Nigerians know what is going on and how they are going to... the pains we are feeling will be...
I think they will give us rights because this government, it seems...
There's
rice. Well, there's rice. Nylon. Now it's nylon rice.
All right. Let's come back to Nigeria and look at the politics. We'll be opening the phone lines as well. If you'd like to call and speak about any of the conversations and lend your thoughts to these conversations that we've had, please call us. The number to call is on your TV screen. I'll also take comments from YouTube. You can go there and drop your comments. We're streaming live on YouTube via News Central TV Live. We'll take your thoughts there. YouTube has been buzzing all day, and before we wrap up the show, we definitely will take thoughts. But for now, we're focusing on the newspaper review, so please let us know what your thoughts are about any of the stories we're taking this morning. But still looking at the front pages of the newspaper, let's talk about PDP. Battle for PDP. Makinde, Wike camps brace for appeal court verdict today. That's on the front page of the Punch. Today is the day. We can't preempt the court. We can't say how... we can't decide what the judgment of the court will lean towards. But the one thing we'd like to know is, do you believe that whatever the court judgment is, will finally lay rest to the crisis within the People's Democratic
Party? No matter the outcome of today's
judgment, they can still appeal it.
No matter the outcome, the train has left the station. It will be difficult for PDP to put their hands together.
The damage has been done.
The damage has been done, absolutely. But I'm hoping that the court will be reasonable enough, and give judgment in favor of the Turagi-led
Sir, you are trying to preempt the court.
No, I'm not preempting them. I'm not preempting them. That's my personal...
Lucky you are not a lawyer. Olive can never
That is my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. I have a right to it. The court has their own way of doing that thing. But I think
you are not a lawyer.
Nigeria deserves an effective, virile opposition party. Yes. Which
so the God that did the one of Labour Party should also do the one of PDP.
Provide. So I'm thinking that common sense will prevail, and they will allow the opposition to breathe, allow Turaki to take over the party, and tell to go.
No, we cannot decide what the court will say. Ours is just to wait to see what will happen. And you've said now that regardless of what the court decides, that the train has left the station and the PDP will not have enough time to put his house in order. Elections are around the corner.
And that has been the mission of Wike.
All right. Let's still take another...
The mission of Wike is to try and destroy that party.
All right.
To allow APC...
Sir, do you have evidence?
Do you have evidence?
I don't have evidence. We all see it. It's everywhere.
I don't see it. So can you put it in context?
Nigerian journalists are not doing head-to-head style.
They said Nigerian journalists
are not doing head-to-head. Sir, you are welcome to head-to-head.
We must speak about that conversation.
We are getting there.
Let's talk. But oil is not the only thing that
is helping in making sure that people do not have a structure.
All right.
Fight the ruling party.
We'll come back to that. I will ask you for the evidence to prove that.
Head to head.
U.S.-Israel-Iran war and the after effects or the shocks are not the only things affecting Nigeria. Debt servicing, top left corner of the Punch. Debt servicing surpasses capital spending by 3.9 trillion naira in 2 years.
Wow.
I mean, do we look, if you look at the details of
this was what I highlighted in
which way Nigeria? Exactly. So it says
borrowing at an unprecedented and alarming level.
Let me read the details. It says the brief showed that the federal government spent 27.2 trillion naira servicing public debts between 2024 and 2025. Data contained in the brief showed that the federal government spent 12.63 trillion on debt servicing in 2024, significantly above the 8.56 trillion provided in the budget for the year. In 2025, debt service rose to 14.57 trillion, exceeding the 13.12 trillion budgeted for the year. Combined, the figures indicate that the federal government spent about 27.2 trillion naira on debt obligations within the 2-year period, reflecting the growing fiscal pressure from rising interest costs and exchange rate adjustments. We're entering 2026.
You know, the thing about debt servicing is not a budget. It's not like we promised to spend X amount. That money is gone. It's almost like an automatic instruction to your creditors. So that money is, by the time you spend that money, you now have, it's the balance that you use to do capital projects and education and run the country. And it's becoming, it's alarming.
It's what we...
It's alarming and scary.
It's why we're criticizing loan sharks. Why they will tell people, be careful when you borrow, because sometimes you will pay more than, you will have to suffer more than what you borrowed for. And then they'll start carrying your picture and using your picture to do obituary and send it to your contacts.
I mean, they said one of these debt recovery people, these charlatans, sent a message, an SMS message to my friend's dad that a plumber has HIV and AIDS, that they should be careful just because he's owing money. And then the father was telling the son, you know, this guy has AIDS just because he's owing money.
First of all,
how irresponsible they are.
They're very responsible, first of all. And so what if he has HIV and AIDS? There are medical treatments once and there are antiviral drugs. We need to stop the stigma. Secondly, they need to take some of these people to court. Let them pay through their nose. If you want to regain your monies, there are other ways. Take them to court. But the moment you start defaming a person because they are owing you money, until, like they say in social media parlance, if they never deal with one or two of them, their body no go calm down.
Absolutely.
Okay. Still, I would like us to move away from Punch, but very quickly, let me run through the headlines. Rising opposition attacks spark concerns ahead of 2027 elections. We have a free and fair election in 2027. These are the issues.
Professor
Lagos
Joab
APC,
said by the grace of God.
By the special grace of God. Lagos APC vows to reverse 2023 presidential loss. IWD, Tinubu governors seek stronger policies for women's empowerment. We're tired of it being on paper. We want to see the practicality of it. FARC subcommittees get 11.5 billion naira for 2026 budget planning. And Pope warns of regional spillover from Israel-Iran war. Let's now go to the Nigeria Tribune. The big story on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Political parties differ. Okay, I believe we have the Vanguard. The Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, let's look at the Vanguard very quickly. At the front page, how federal government's 2.3 billion euros electricity project failed. Let's quickly tell you what it says.
Talk about that electricity.
Federal government begins new phase after failure of 5-year, 25,000 megawatts plan. Experts list implications. Transmission distribution challenges persist. Missed targets impose cost on homes, businesses, economy. LCCI says, Professor Okeat said, that challenges persist. Economic growth, job creation will remain subdued. CPPE. Tinubu's GAMCO raises concerns. I know you've heard about GAMCO, right? The president constituted on Friday, last week, an 11-man committee to actually set up the a committee that will look into the grid asset management of Nigeria. And people are saying that's like, I mean, that's a conversation we look to have tomorrow, because people are saying that's like a replication. You already have, the transmission company, you have so many of them. Like, look, you're now creating another one. Still, there's no light. So what are you creating? What are they going to do? And chairmaning that is the chief of staff. And then you have the Minister of Power, who's also there. You have the Minister of Communication. You have the Attorney General of the Federation. So everybody's asking, what's really going on? If you're having all these people and you're creating a new one. But then again, this big one, let's talk about power. How has power been in your area? You own businesses too. How are you coping?
It's very bad. Before now, we've been experiencing some between 20 hours a day, 18 hours a day, But now, it's gone down to 10 hours a day. Something is wrong somewhere. The one in Agege is even worse. But 3 hours a day. Yes. So you can imagine how much I'm spending every day, every week, every month to power my business. It's not funny at all. You see, I don't know why, because the president campaign on the premise that if I don't resolve the power problem within a year, don't vote for me again. That is what he said. But it appears the thing is becoming more challenging. That there is increasingly
And I
no
asked,
solution.
I asked the APC chairman when we
site.
spoke to him last week that as good Christians and Muslims, should we take the advice of Mr. President when he said we should not vote for him if he can't fix the power issue? Well, there's time.
He said time will tell.
Elections are in January next year, so we can fix it and...
No, it's a promise. He said so. It's in the manifesto.
This year.
So it's unfortunate that they are not
Okay, let's...
because we all know that without power, we cannot have an industrial economy.
You can't.
We cannot have an economy that is based on exports. We cannot have an economy that can generate. We cannot have a steel industry without power. So what is really going on? What is going on? Because all this that duplicating all these agencies.
Honestly,
at the end of the day, it's not effective.
power is terrible. I want to read earlier comments.
It's getting worse.
Because we talked about power at the start of the show. Felix Okechukwu had said, power here in Alimosho is very bad. Abraham Ondoma said, power is nothing to write home about. No electricity at all. Chuka Ochiama had said, Chai, Olive, can you imagine your power or NEPA experience in Asaba? My heart really bleeds about how everything has collapsed under a master strategist, but master in non-electric situation. He now said in nothing. Electric situation in PH is hellish.
so it's not just Lagos.
Bagrasi, I don't know who this is, says, my area power is a bit okay. And Abraham Ondoma says, power supply has never been this poor in the history of Nigeria. Okay, we'll move away from the conversations about power now to talk about the biggest story over the course of the weekend, which we started the show with today and we've talked about as a top story. That's the interview that Daniel Boala granted on Head to Head and the analysis. I believe that you've seen the interview, Mr. Aruna.
I watched the video a few minutes after.
You watched a few minutes after?
Yes.
Let's get your general analysis of the interview.
You know the funny thing, just to highlight, Mr. Aruna is also a communications expert and a spokesperson.
Yes, and I was a spokesperson.
Former governor of Lagos State.
So please, analyze it.
No, it was a disaster. Counterproductive. Complete disaster. From the beginning to the end. You know, when you are going to bring an interview to a global audience, one, to a man that is reputed to be very, very intelligent and a great debater, you must be prepared. You know, you must look at your past, look at your present, and what you are aiming to be in the future. Who are you representing? Which interests are you protecting and promoting? You know, these are the things that you must have on ground. And I'm sure, but according to Media San, they watched a video in the social media where Boala was preparing for that interview. Boala and his team.
For 6 months.
Interview. And Boala was so disingenuous to the Nigerians that he did not know, they did not tell him that they will look at his past. What are you talking about?
I mean,
are you okay? You are going to an interview. Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table and you should be ready. You know. So and it's unfortunate that a spokesperson.
But it's his past, it's not somebody else's past. So you should be
yes, you should be ready to defend it.
Defend your own past.
Defend it. So the man was not professional at all. He was not armed with enough information to defend his boss. Because many things were asked. They asked him about terrorism that killing Nigerians. More Nigerians were killed this year than last year. He could not answer. They asked him about corruption in the country. That his boss is a corrupt leader. He could not answer that effectively. That his boss was involved in drug matters. He could not answer that effectively.
He said the bullion van. How do we prove that there was money inside?
And you see, and social media do not lie. Anything that what I've been saying over the years,
they call it receipts.
They will recall it. They call it
receipts.
It will come to play. It will come out. So the guy only.
But let's talk about the communication strategy of the presidency. Do you think he got clearance, or people, or do they have a hierarchy, or they work in silos?
Yeah.
because we've oftentimes seen somebody say this, another communications person would say this. We had a former journalist, fantastic guy, Ajuri Ngelale, but he's no longer with, he had to resign due to personal family issues. But do you think the presidency should, you know, rejig its communication strategy and not have multiple people speak on his behalf? And should he get clearance, at least from a senior government
I'm surprised that
before he represents Nigeria abroad?
Bola is not a trained journalist. If not like saying, on rise. She won't talk about it too. But relatively, she won't write at and he has learned on the job. Not like Hussein
He's a professor of practice, like Professor David
Hussein is doing in China. But this man is a lawyer. He's a rabble-loser. People that know him have been saying that this is how he used to behave. And when he was with Atiku Abubakar, he was very combative in attacking Tinubu. And when he changed, when he about on, when the corner of Tinubu, he was doing the same thing consistently, attacking Atiku Abubakar. So that he's not dealing with issues. But
the president appointed him. Is that also not a reflection?
That was a political move. But even if you want to give him a job, don't give him a job.
So
project your government.
So sensitive.
So you know what he has been doing.
So
in other words, President Bola, are you saying that President Bola Tinubu erred in appointing him?
I wouldn't say that.
No, but he said something else, not something as sensitive as an image maker of your
what he has done, he has done more damage to the image of Nigeria and to the image of the president. With that,
you know, Olive
interview we did with Mehdi Hassan faced Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan reputed media guy, and he faced him head on, and he was not defeated. So you're going to meet this kind of man. This man has done research about you and your president, and you are talking and you are prevaricating.
You know, Olive,
being evasive.
Mr. Habib Aruna said something very instructive here, that if you're going to even compensate him and appoint him, not as an somebody that is suffering from credibility, double speak. I mean, at least you've made Rene Omokri ambassador to Mexico. Why not make him Daniel Bola ambassador to Honduras?
Let's end the show on a sweet note. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us, first of all. The sweet note would be that yesterday, the 8th of March, was International Women's Day, and the whole of March is International Women's Month. So first of all, happy International Women's Day to all my women watching this. Woo! Thank you. So
happy International Women's Day to my wife and my mother. God bless you guys. You're the best in the world. Happy International Women's Day to you, Olive.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I cherish you.
Thank you.
God bless you.